It wasn't a moment anyone thought would matter. A near-empty convenience store, the hum of flickering fluorescent lights. A Tuesday night that felt like all the others. But sometimes history doesn't announce itself. Sometimes it creeps in through the side door, dressed in ordinary silence, and changes everything. What happened that night didn't make headlines at first. No viral tweet, no police call, just an awkward interaction between a tired young black man and a middle-aged store clerk who thought he was being funny. But that night, that store, and that insult would soon explode across the internet and bring a forgotten voice into the center of a national storm. The store sat on the corner of 8th and Madison, a place people passed without looking twice. Inside, shelves leaned with expired snacks. The soda machine hissed non-stop, and the guy behind the counter looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. His name was Derek. Late 40s. Balding. Always glued to his phone. He'd been working there for over 10 years and had learned how to size up customers within seconds. At least, he thought he had. So when Malik stepped in at exactly 11:17 p.m., Derek didn't see an artist or a filmmaker. He saw a young black man in his early 20s with a camera bag and a notebook. A nobody, he assumed. A kid playing dress-up in the world of ambition. Malik was tall and quiet, wearing a weathered denim jacket over a gray hoodie, slim-fit jeans, and scuffed sneakers. His camera bag, slung over his shoulder, was old but well-kept. He was scribbling notes, deep in thought, earbuds still in. He walked straight to the counter, placed 2 protein bars and a bottle of water down gently, and waited. Derek barely glanced up. He let the items sit, then muttered without looking, "You filming something? Or just trying to look important?" Malik didn't react at first. He pulled one earbud out. "Sorry?" Derek finally looked at him, eyebrows raised, mocking grin spreading across his face. "That camera bag. Let me guess. You're a big-time YouTuber now? Filming your struggle story? Let me know when Netflix comes knocking." Malik stood there, silent. Not shocked, just used to it. He nodded once, not smiling. "It's a documentary." That word was all Derek needed. He leaned forward with exaggerated interest. "Oh, a documentary? I see. Let me guess. Another, I grew up broke, look at me now thing? People eat that up, huh?" Malik said nothing. He pulled a crumpled bill from his wallet, placed it on the counter, waited for change, and said quietly, "You'll remember this moment," then turned and left. Most people would have gone home and tried to forget it, but Malik wasn't most people. What Derek didn't realize was that the camera in Malik's bag had been recording the entire interaction, not just the audio, the video. The frame caught Derek's face, his smirk, every sneer, every word. But that moment wasn't about revenge. It was just the beginning. Malik had been working on his documentary for 14 months, interviewing people society had cast aside. Homeless war veterans, kids born into poverty, women who'd survived domestic violence, former inmates. He wanted to give them something no one else did, a voice. Forgotten Frames was never about fame. It was about truth. He edited that scene, the one with Derek, into the very beginning of the film. Not as the climax, but as the entry point, the warning shot, the preview of what people ignore, dismiss, or belittle every day. The world saw Malik as invisible. He was about to make them look closer. He submitted the project to 3 small indie film festivals. 2 rejected him with vague, polite emails. The third, Hudson Valley Film Fest, sent back a quiet acceptance, a midnight screening in a barely filled venue. 28 people showed up, but one of them posted a clip of the opening scene, Malik being mocked, and wrote in the caption, "You never know who you're talking down to." It got 12 likes the first night, 300 the next, and by the end of the week, it had crossed 3 million views. Suddenly, Malik was everywhere. News anchors debated the clip on air. TikTok creators reenacted it. College students wrote essays about it. Major celebrities retweeted it with lines like, "This hits too close to home." No one even knew Malik's last name, but his face, the quiet resolve, the slight nod, the calm, "You'll remember this moment," became iconic. Derek, meanwhile, was blindsided. The clip hit Reddit, then Facebook, then his full name leaked. People dug up old Yelp reviews of the store. "Always rude. Talked down to me. Refused to help when my card failed." The store's page was flooded with angry comments. Protesters started showing up outside. A local news crew came by to interview Derek. He defended himself, claimed the video was taken out of context, that joking with customers was part of his personality. But the world didn't care. Not anymore. They'd heard enough. Malik remained silent. No interviews, no tweets, no press junkets. The only thing that surfaced was his documentary, now on YouTube, free to watch, with over 15 million views in 3 weeks. The opening scene. That store, that counter, that insult. Then it cut to story after story. Intimate, painful, beautiful. People speaking their truth with Malik behind the camera, never interrupting, never inserting himself. Just listening. Then came the nominations. Forgotten Frames was shortlisted for the Independent Spirit Awards, then selected, then officially nominated for Best Feature Documentary. The film world was stunned. Here was this quiet, low-budget piece with no famous faces, no studio backing, no soundtrack deals, just truth. Raw, elegant, human truth. Malik still refused to speak to the press, but people started calling him the ghost filmmaker. He'd walk past reporters outside screenings, head down, earbuds in, camera bag always over one shoulder. The night of the awards, the crowd buzzed with anticipation. A-list directors in tuxedos, champagne flowing, red carpet questions. Will Malik show? Will he speak if he wins? What if he doesn't even show up? Then, just before the ceremony started, someone spotted him. Back of the room, alone, clean black suit, no stylist, no entourage, just Malik. He didn't look nervous. He didn't look excited. He looked focused, calm, like a man who'd already lived this moment in his mind 100 times. When Forgotten Frames was announced as the winner, the room erupted. A standing ovation. Cameras searched the crowd. The MC smiled, extended an arm. "Malik, come on up." Silence. He didn't move. Producers scrambled. "Where is he? Is he backstage? Did he leave?" He was gone. Security footage later showed him exiting through a side door minutes before the announcement. No limo, no ride share, just walking away alone into the Los Angeles night. The internet went into overdrive. Why didn't he accept? Was this his message? Did he want to vanish? Then, the next twist dropped. Derek, the store clerk, received a package. No name, no return address. Inside was a USB stick and a printed note. "You forgot me." But I remembered everything. He plugged it in. What played on the screen wasn't the original documentary. It was a new edit. But this time it focused entirely on him. Grainy clips of the store, security footage he didn't know existed, cell phone recordings from customers he never noticed. In every frame, Derek appeared, laughing at struggling parents, mocking a woman's accent, refusing service to a teenager because his clothes were dirty. And then, what chilled him most, a camera angle from inside the break room. Someone had planted a lens, a hidden one, recording him for months. It wasn't illegal. Everything was filmed in public or owned by other people. But it was damning, unforgiving, brutal. The footage was titled, "Those Who Looked Away." Derek broke down in his kitchen, sobbing, not just out of fear, but out of the realization that he'd become a symbol. He wasn't the villain of just one story. He was the reflection of many. The way he laughed, the way he rolled his eyes, It had been seen by the world and now archived forever. But this wasn't about Derek anymore, because days later, Malik's website updated. A countdown clock appeared. 5 days, titled, "Those Who Looked Away, Volume 1. No one knew what it meant, but whispers began. Whispers about footage from banks, schools, offices, restaurants, places where people spoke freely, not knowing someone might be listening, not knowing someone might care. It became clear that Malik hadn't stopped filming. He'd just started. The country braced itself, because if forgotten frames revealed voices we ignored, Those Who Looked Away was about to expose those who chose to ignore them. And this time, no one was safe. The world didn't sleep much that week, not after the website updated. The black screen, the countdown timer, the title that made people shift in their seats. Those Who Looked Away, Volume 1. Rumors spread faster than fire in a drought. Some said it would be a film, others said it would be a docu-series or some kind of expose drop. But one thing was certain, Malik was back, and this time, he wasn't just holding up a mirror to injustice. He was setting the stage for a reckoning. There were theories everywhere. Reddit blew up. It's gonna name names. He's been recording everything. He's going after people in power. But none of them got it right, because no one could have predicted what Malik actually did. Because what he was about to release wasn't just a film, it was evidence. On the final day, the timer hit 0. The website crashed. Millions tried to access it at the same time. But Malik had already planned for that. On YouTube, a single video was uploaded. No title, no description. Just a thumbnail of Malik's camera bag resting on a cracked sidewalk. The video was 2 hours and 7 minutes long. It began with a voiceover, not Malik's, but a woman's. Calm. Professional. This is a compilation of publicly recorded footage, interviews, whistleblower testimony, and archived files. Viewer discretion is advised. Then the screen faded to black, and it began. The first 20 minutes were uncomfortable. Grainy footage of grocery store managers following black teenagers down aisles. Teachers speaking in hushed voices about students who wouldn't amount to much. A group of office workers laughing about ghetto accents. Each clip stitched together with quiet, meticulous precision. Faces were shown. Names, too. There were timestamps, locations, audio transcripts, and subtitles. This wasn't just storytelling. This was prosecution. Then came the second act. A courtroom clerk caught mocking domestic violence victims. A parole officer admitting he lost files all the time because those guys end up back inside anyway. A nonprofit director pocketing funds meant for immigrant families. One after the other, the clips came. Some people broke down in the footage, some bragged, some laughed, not knowing a mic was live. By the time the first hour passed, the internet had exploded. Hashtags formed midstream. Those Who Looked Away trended globally. YouTube tried to throttle the video, claiming it was under review. But it was too late. Copies were already everywhere. On mirror sites, cloud storage, Telegram, Reddit, TikTok. Malik hadn't just dropped a bomb. He'd dropped a blueprint for exposure. But then came the twist no one could prepare for. At exactly 1 hour and 11 minutes into the video, the footage cut to a single person. Derek. The same store clerk, but not from the original incident. This was new, recent. Security footage showed him inside a different store, stocking shelves, eyes darting constantly, visibly paranoid. He looked worn, thinner, jittery. The narration kicked back in. Derek T., former employee of Madison Market, now relocated to Fairway Mart after public backlash. This footage was recorded 2 months after the release of Forgotten Frames. What followed was haunting. Derek denying service to a woman wearing a hijab, arguing with a Hispanic man about his ID, making a snide comment to a disabled customer asking for assistance. This wasn't a man who had learned. This was a man who had doubled down. The footage was damning. Malik didn't add commentary. He didn't need to. The images spoke louder than anything he could say. Then, shockingly, the feed changed again, this time to a dimly lit apartment. Malik stood in frame, first time since the award show. No suit, just a hoodie, a single floor lamp casting shadows on the walls behind him. He stared directly into the lens. "I was never trying to be famous," he said. "I just wanted people to see what I see. I was tired of hearing, 'That's just how the world is.' I wanted people to feel what it's like when you know no one's listening. So I started recording, and I didn't stop." He paused. "You think Derek was the only one? Look again." The screen split. 8 windows, then 16, then 32. Footage from across the country. Cafeterias, subway stations, hospital waiting rooms, board meetings, PTA meetings. Every screen held another moment, another insult, another cruelty delivered with a smile, and every one of them had been captured. The video continued. Interviews with whistleblowers, a teacher who admitted she was told to mark down black students more strictly, a former HR rep who confessed her boss said not to waste effort on applicants with ethnic names. One woman whispered, crying, "I knew it was wrong, but I needed my job." A man looked down and said, "We all looked away. We just didn't think anyone was watching." Malik had been watching and recording. At the end of the video, the screen cut to black again. Text faded in. "This was only Volume 1. Volume 2 is already finished. It contains footage from corporations, city offices, public schools, and police departments. If anything happens to me, it will be released automatically. If you're one of the people shown here, don't contact me. Don't apologize. The time for words is over. Now you answer to the world." Then silence. No music, no credits, just black. The upload time read 6:03 p.m. By 6:07, the story was on every major news site. By 6:14, at least 4 of the people shown in the documentary had deleted their social media accounts. By 6:35, 2 law firms had announced class action investigations based on footage shown. By 6:52, Derek was trending again, but this time for a different reason. Because he had gone missing. According to reports, he'd quit his job that morning, packed a bag, and hadn't returned to his apartment. His neighbors said he looked nervous, sweating, pacing outside at 3 a.m. before speeding off in a beat-up silver sedan. Police were notified after his landlord found the place ransacked. Drawers open, clothes scattered, a half-written note on the floor that read, "They're coming for me." Internet sleuths immediately got to work. Some claimed he was trying to flee the country, others said he was hiding in a motel somewhere. But one theory stood out. A comment under the documentary posted by a verified burner account. "Some people disappear because they want to, others because they have to. Derek won't be the last." The comment had 27,000 likes before it vanished. Then came the leaks. Unreleased clips, maps, schedules, security files from corporate servers. Someone had access to more than just store footage, and people began to realize something else. Malik hadn't done this alone. There was a network. People from inside institutions, from media, from schools, from everywhere. They were anonymous, but coordinated, and angry. Volume 2 didn't even need to be released yet. The fear was already working. Politicians who had laughed at certain jokes in private meetings stopped showing up in public. CEOs quietly stepped down. School board officials resigned without warning. A judge recused herself from 3 cases after a clip surfaced of her mocking defendants in her chambers. The fallout was biblical. And Malik? Gone again. No interviews, no live streams, and no updates. But then, just as the noise reached a fever pitch, a final video dropped. 4 minutes long, no title. Just Malik, again, sitting in the same room, same hoodie. He leaned forward, elbows on knees. "People keep asking me what I want. Justice, revenge, validation." He shook his head. Number I wanted a world where people don't get away with casual cruelty. I wanted to force the ones in power to flinch. He looked directly into the camera. You flinched. He stood up, walked out of frame, and the camera kept rolling and rolling and rolling until it stopped abruptly. Nothing else was ever posted. No follow-up, no volume 2, just silence. Some say he's living in Ghana now. Others say he's off the grid, somewhere deep in Oregon, planting trees and never looking back. There are even rumors he faked his disappearance and still walks among us, recording, listening, documenting. But the truth, it doesn't matter where Malik is now, because what he left behind didn't need him anymore. The spark had become a fire. Cameras went up in cities. Communities began releasing their own footage. A city council meeting in Detroit was interrupted by activists playing clips from the documentary on a projector. A protest in Atlanta ended with an outdoor screening of Forgotten Frames. People stopped looking away. They started watching and remembering. Derek was never found. Volume 2 never surfaced. But the world had already changed. Because for once, just once, it wasn't the powerful who controlled the narrative. It was the quiet ones, the overlooked, the ones who had always been watched, and finally decided to watch back. And when the watching began, the world could no longer pretend it didn't see. The time for pretending was over. The reckoning had arrived, and it all started with one tired kid in a corner store being told he'd never matter. He didn't argue, he filmed and changed everything.